Hey everyone, welcome to my tarot workshop. I just went for a run and hopped out of the bath. So hope you're having a wonderful Easter Monday. If you're coming on, please make sure that you've already subscribed to my channel. And it is important for you to comment and let me know that you're here, okay? So again, if you're hopping on, let me know. I want to make sure all the chat's working as well. So when I work that way, it's efficient. So for some reason, I pulled up the Nine of Pentacles Comfort right away. And again, please let me know if you can hear me okay. I have my headphones, but I'm not putting them in. And I do have a really nice microphone that I'm going to start working with as well. So I guess we'll just see how this goes. It looks like somebody's watching, but again, they're not letting me know that they're here. So Nine of Pentacles, and somebody else is hopping on, so please let me know that you are here. That'll be helpful, that you can hear me okay. So Nine of Pentacles tells us that we're going to succeed, all right? So maybe this workshop's going to be successful. Maybe for you, it's in your tarot journey that you're going to be successful. And whenever we see the number 9, hi, I'm here and I can hear you very clearly as well. Okay, thank you so much, really appreciate it. And again, I see somebody else watching, so if you could just let me know that you're here. So regardless, whenever we see the number 9, if you're taking notes right now, 9 is a really beautiful number, okay? We're just gonna learn like 1 through 10. But 9, if you look at 10 being like the ending, okay? 10 being the number of completion. We have 10 fingers, okay? And 9, if we have 9 fingers up, we're really close to the end of something. And usually that's a positive thing because we want to feel like we're near completion, right? That we're accomplishing something. So if you look at number 9 being near completion, that's a really positive thing, okay? I'd like you to look at it that way because in tarot, there's a story, there's a lesson, all right? And so just while we're here, 10 is, as we already talked about, completion. But hello, if you're hopping on, let me know that you're hopping on, please. And so you haven't missed anything if you're just hopping on now. So 10 is completion, but we also have 1 and 0 in the number 10. So that's how we work with tarot or any type of numerology. So it doesn't have to be just cards. This could be like right now, I see that there are 4 people up. So right away, if I want to read the energy, and now it's 3. So if I want to read the energy of 4 or 3, that's what I'm being drawn to. So I want to pay attention to that, okay? So 1 is in 10 and 0 is in 10. So 1 is the very, very beginning, right? So in tarot, there's always a story. So every card tells a lesson, it tells a story. And the Fool is the first card of tarot, and the World is the last card, okay? So the way that it is each card is telling you something. And so the Fool is starting the tarot journey, which means he doesn't really know what's going to happen, where it's going to take him, but he wants to start and he wants to try and he wants to trust and believe. And so this card is telling us, because it's 9, this is a positive thing. And because it's attached to Pentacles, which is money, coins, right? Then we know that there's something positive happening here in terms of finances as well. So it might be that in your tarot journey, if you get good enough, then you feel confident enough, you can charge people money, right? For me, this might mean, if people are starting to get introduced to this and get into it, they might want a tarot reading from me. They might want to pay me to teach them on a one-on-one, that sort of thing. So however you can relate the money and the positivity of something that you're really feeling really like you're getting there with something, okay? And the word comfort, because I'm using tarot and angel cards, it actually has a word underneath it, and owl cards are a little bit different. So I just wanted to give you an example of how we attach numbers to elements, okay? And there are 4 elements. So we already talked about the earth element, the money, the coins, things like that. We automatically think about work, things like that. And so it's like material, because the earth element is something that we can see, something that we can hold, something that we can buy, right? And that's what work typically gets us to, okay? So that's just an example of how we can read a card. And the number 10 has 1 in it, which is a new beginning, the start of something. As I was saying, the Fool is the beginning of something. When we see that, a 1 as well. And 0 represents the energy of spirit, of our spirit, spirituality, whatever it is. But when we see 10 together, that's telling us, okay, not only is there an ending, but whenever there's an ending, what is there, guys? Feel free to share. It's a new beginning. So when we see 10, it's like not necessarily a bad card, that something's ending, because the positive side we want to add the positive side to everything when we're reading cards. So the positive side is that there's a new beginning for you that your spirit is craving, or your spirit's going to be happy about once you accept the ending. So there's always like a way that you can interpret things, right? So if you had 10 of pentacles, that would mean that each pentacle represents each pentacle represents like a working day, money, however you choose to look at it. But if there's 9 pentacles, that's really good. If there's 10 pentacles when we're working with money, that's a really good card. That's even better than 9 of pentacles, because 10 of pentacles is telling us, ooh, like there's some money, there's some success with money coming in, or there's some success with money already. So you can kind of see, and that there's something new starting off with finances for you, that your energy is just craving and wanting. So I know that this already relates to you guys, or I wouldn't be sharing it, because of course that's my intention. But when 10 of a different element is there, it's going to again represent something different. So if it's water, guys, is emotions. And so again, we can relate it to astrology. If you are an earth sign or a fire sign, when we're a water sign, we're quite sensitive, right? So if we have 10 of water, that's a lot of emotions. But if you look at each cup or each thing that has water in it, representing the energy of something you're putting positive emotions into, that's a lot of love, right? So the 10 of Cups represents the most love that you can have. So the higher the number, the more intense this element is. And I hope that kind of makes sense to you guys, just to give you an idea. 10 equals new beginnings. My new beginnings often happened on the 10th of the month, which is really, really cool. And even if you think about the new moon being on the 11th, and so if you would like free healing and a free meditation during the new moon, it's going to be at 6 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time, okay? And I'm going to be coming on here and doing that. So we can get into like the number 11, but what we typically do, and these are things you can look up, is we would attach the number 1 from, just for like a learning sake right now. We could, even though 11 is a very spiritual number, and from a tarot perspective, if we did happen to see like 2 1s, we would just look at it as an individual thing. So maybe there's 2 people having a new beginning, right? Or maybe there's really strong new beginning energy coming in. So same thing when we see angel numbers like 111, that's like often we'll make a wish around 1111, because it's like, what do you want that's new in your life? And it's coming in really strongly. So really amplify that energy, make a wish. So I hope that makes sense, guys. So if you have specific questions, just ask. Also, feel free to let me know, do you own a tarot deck of some sort? So I like to work with angel cards, because I find tarot, because there's a lot of like ancient history to the cards. The cards are very, very sensitive. So picking your deck is really important, the energy of your deck. So a lot of people will believe, depending on who it is, to not let other people touch your deck. So with my tarot angel cards, I don't care who touches my deck because it's not as sensitive of a deck, if that makes sense. It doesn't pick up energy as much. It's based on positive energy, whereas when we work with tarot cards, often they can be quite sensitive to energy, okay? So that's why I have my sage here with me. So it's good to clear and cleanse your cards. It's also important to cleanse and clear yourself. If you've been in any of my other workshops and things like that, or classes, we kind of talk about the intention of things. So when we set the intention for the cards to be for someone else, then trust that that's what it is. But remind yourself that there's always a mirror there, and that even though you're reading a card for somebody else, as I was already doing, I'm still showing you that it also kind of relates to me because we're sharing energy. But if you're by yourself, you just want to make sure that nobody else has touched your cards, that they're cleansed, and then it's just your energy, and you're setting the intention for it to be for yourself. Okay, and so I hope that that makes sense. There's different ways that we can clear decks. Typically in an angel card deck, what we'll do is we'll knock on the cards, and we can often, if we have a candle, I recommend having candles, and I sell natural candles if you're interested in either beeswax or soy instead of breathing in all those chemicals. And also I have some essential oils and nice candles with crystals, so like abundance candles, protection candles. Right now I'm working with forgiveness candles. So what I'm doing is my intention is for you guys, okay? But instead, I'm not teaching you guys spreads. I'll be doing more workshops if you're interested. And I can teach you things like different types of spreads to get you going. But right now what I'm doing is teaching you how to just set intentions and just pull out cards, okay? So instead of worrying about like specifics, we're just giving you a general idea, okay? And the key thing is just trusting that you're gonna get the right cards, because there's no coincidence or accident when we work with cards, because it's all about reading energy, right? So if we don't set an intention as well, I kind of feel like the energy might be all over the place. So I highly recommend just setting intentions. Okay, so if you want this to be like a love reading, let's do love for you guys, because that's just for me what's coming up. Right now I'm seeing the number 4 as well. It's like 4 and 3 people hopping on. So 4, just so you guys know, is it's just like a way to remember, like we know we have 5 fingers on one hand, right? When we put our thumb down, we have 4 fingers, and the thumb doesn't want to be there because it's tired, okay? It needs a break from always having to be so positive and awesome this and awesome that. So it takes a break. So we know that 4 is a number of just like, oh my God, we just need to rest. There's a resting energy, right? It's needed. So keep that in mind whenever you see 4 with an element, that there's some form of rest that needs to happen, whether it's resting the mind, resting the heart, that sort of thing. There's something going on where this person is not in their best energy because they've been using it they're overusing something, okay? Same thing now, 5 is popping up. So again, if you're writing this down, that would be helpful. But again, you can rewatch this if you want to, and then kind of pause it in your own time, which I think is fabulous that we have this type of technology. So 5, okay, 5 is half of 10, right? So it's the middle. And so 5 has no vibration. It's the only number that doesn't have a vibration, because it's not sure if it wants to go up, and it's not sure if it wants to go down. So if you see it as being like a story, whereas this person is their new beginning, they're starting to learn about tarot, okay, and then they learn some more stuff, and then their mind might start to get a little bit tired, right? And then they need a little break, okay? And then because they need a break, then it's time to, after your break, it's kind of like, okay, now what am I going to do after I stopped? Am I going to go back to tarot, right? Which could be a positive thing for you after you've kind of processed and waited and reflected and took some time for yourself, sleep on it, whatever it is. And then, so that's a choice that you have to make. But it's also, it could be like, it's kind of confusing, but basically 5 has no vibration. It means that there's an uncertainty, okay? You have to make some type of decision, all right? And so, as I said, the decision could be to start transitioning into like actually accomplishing and being successful with tarot. And so if that's the case, then we move on to number 6. And 6 is balance, okay? It's going to help you have more balance in your life. It's going to bring you money. It's going to help you with your relationships. You're going to have healthier exchanges with people, things like that, because you're going to have a new tool, that sort of thing. So 6 is another amazing number to have. So you could associate it with success if you wanted to. But I like using the word balance because it's when things are just in harmony, okay? So the other thing is, say that you don't want to learn tarot, you needed that rest and decided, hey, I don't want to know anymore about this, whatever. So if you're resting, but then you decide, you know what? If you go to the number, back to the number 3, okay? It's maybe I just want to have fun. 3 is the number of fun. 3 is the number of we'll just leave it as fun, okay? I don't want to learn. I just want to have fun, okay? So it's kind of like you go to the 4 and you're tired, you rest. You go to the 5, you're like, I kind of have to like sort this energy out. I'm not sure what to do. You go to the 6, you're like, I think I want to do this to find balance. Or maybe you go to the energy of 3 and it's like, I just want to have fun and not worry or care about all this stuff, okay? I hope that makes some sense to you. We are also leaving out the number 2, and 2, feel free to share what 2 represents for you guys if you want to participate. I prefer you guys to be here and participate. That is the point of being able to like interact. It's really helpful for me as well. So maybe I'll just give you a minute to see if you know what the number 2 represents. And again, let me know if you have any background already so that I'm not just sharing things that you know. Or maybe you have a different idea of what some of these numbers mean for you. So 5, without overwhelming you, like 5, often we see that as an energy of learning, right? When we're 5, we go to school. So just different ways to start kind of remembering things. So I'll wait to see if 2 means anything to anybody or they want to share anything. I made a tea with with lemongrass, honey, and actual lemon, just hot water. And I didn't put my actual tea in a bag because I didn't have time. And I thought, oh, it'll be fine, but I'm really not enjoying eating the grass. Okay, so 2 typically will represent and you're having some form of exchange, okay? So when we see 2, it might be related to like a partnership. 2, unity came up for me, exactly. So partnership, right? That exchange with someone else because it's a couple. So if you remember 2 being a couple, and 2 can also mean like that you're working on something at the moment, right? So when you're working on something, typically you need somebody else, or you need to even like go within to work through something. But there's that like working through something. You're right, unity, exchange, energy that's happening of some sort. Okay, and again, you can find out tons more about this. When we look at the number 7, 7 is my favorite number. 7 is the number of spirituality. Okay, and so on the 7th day we rest. Typically on Sundays, it used to be a day of rest and reflection on our spirituality. So when we see the number 7, some people will see it as lucky, that sort of thing, because spirituality can be seen as, prayer and putting energy out there, that sort of thing. So if you see 7, it typically means there's something that you're kind of it's like you're shifting of some sort, okay? And it means that you need to take a little reflection time, a little rest. So 4 is a number of rest, but 7 is kind of more of like a resting in a spiritual way, not because you're exhausted, just because it's really good to reflect, if that makes sense. So again, we're associating this with elements, so it's a little different for each card. There's a lot of learning and a lot of kind of memorizing. But what's nice is if you look at your cards, like I like the artwork of the sun, angel of happiness. I like that it has words. You can also just look at the images on the cards and whatever kind of pops up to you as well, like whatever you're drawn to, you'll be able to get some information that way too. So we know that the sun is telling us that there's happiness, right? And one thing that we know about the sun is that when we do a spread of some sort, or when we see it, just the fact that it's popping up, it talks about how it brightens up the energy of everything else we already talked about. It brightens up the energy of all the other cards. So if you have the devil, the death card, but you have the sun's telling you that it's all, that there's positivity around it all, okay? And often the sun is about optimism. It's staying positive and staying happy, because our attitude is what keeps us in a high vibration, right? In a state of gratitude. So then we talked about number 9 being your completion. Some people see 9 as the wish number. So if we see it, it might mean that, we can have what we want, that sort of thing. It's just a reminder of that too. Kind of like that mindset, right? To just think about what you want and know that you can have it. So that's what's really fun about cards, and I think why people are so drawn to them. I said I was going to pull out cards for love, but I'm still just sharing. What do you like? So what do you know about the number 8? I love it when I see the number 8 lately. And I go through stages where I see specific numbers. So you'll notice things calling you in. So yeah, feel free to share, participate. I probably won't stay on here too long if people aren't that interested. It's really nasty out here today. And when I went for my run, it was almost like a rainy, snowy wetness, and like the roads were wet, and it's just like, oh, so my throat kind of feels, when you're really like breathing heavily, it's, yeah. Anyway, I don't recommend spending too much time outside today. Okay, so nobody's saying anything. So 8 is the number of, so we said number 1 is new beginnings. Well, 8 can also be a sign of a new beginning as well. Only it's kind of like we said, the 4 and the 7 have that rest element. Well, 8 is more like money came up for me. Okay, awesome. So 8 is typically the number of like new beginnings, but like new beginnings in something that you already started in. So for instance, Annie, an example would be you were in my income program, and we were working on money and our mindset around money. So, and you said that that's been really helpful for you, that you're actually finding that now your mindset's shifting with money, you're finding that you're better with money, or there's more money there for you, you're trusting, that sort of thing. So if 8 is telling you that money is coming up for you, it might mean that there's some form of new beginning coming up for you around money. Now, number 1 is a brand new beginning. When you see 8, it's like, okay, so there's a new beginning, maybe with money for me, learning about money again. Okay, so regeneration is typically a word that I'll use. It's when we are taking action, or we need to take action, but the energy is calling you into taking action on something new, but something you've done already. So like engagement would be a perfect example of how there's an 8 energy, or actually leaving a relationship. So 8, Annie, I know that you're moving. So that's giving me chills all over. So the fact that we're talking about that so much, and money is coming up for you around 8, well, you're moving. So that's big stuff. You guys aren't procrastinating your move anymore, right? You're taking action. So, and then the fact that I'm seeing 2 attached to that as well, add 8 and 2 together, right? So I'm just looking at your name and seeing 2 and 8, and then I see 10, right? It equals 10. So that means there's some form of completion in your life. So that means you're ending all those memories of your home. So of course that can be sad. There could be some grieving. There could be some stress. So then the reminder would be, that this new beginning is going to be helpful and positive for you. Your spirit's calling you into doing that. So remind yourself of that, to bring the spiritual into this new thing. So it might be how you choose to decorate your new space, make that, feng shui it, that sort of thing. And then again, where 2 is involved in there, right? It's about you. Or 2 can be like the energy of planning. So as I said, you're sometimes it's unity with yourself as well, of getting into the ideas and the potential and all that stuff. So you might start thinking about, okay, how am I going to start planning what I want this house to feel like and look like and all of that stuff. And then the 8 is you taking action on doing something with your partner, right? Like selling the house with the partner, and really focusing on the love that you guys have for each other, whatever it is. There's so many different avenues we can play with these numbers, right? And the cards are just an additional tool. So I don't know if people have card decks with them, so it makes it really hard for me, guys. So let's pull out one card for love, as we were just talking about partnerships and things like that. The World. So I was sharing that the World is the last card in tarot, okay? And what that means we've gone on a journey. We started with the Fool. We went through this. We saw the Sun, right? We have to be optimistic. There's happiness in there. That's great. And then the last card, Angel of Success, the World is telling us, okay, you've made it this far and you should be really happy. This is like really the best card you can get. So, and even if we look at all the colors, right, because we can read the energy of colors as well. So I highly recommend doing my Reiki workshop on April 11th. It's going to be from 12 until 1. It's $40, and we'll be learning about stuff related to things like that, working more on the chakras. But if you know anything about that, you can add some of that stuff in. So right away, I'm being drawn towards the energy of blue. My nails are blue. And so I was just talking about me going for that run and it really kind of bothering my throat, but it's also triggering me to to drink teas and take better care of myself, I guess, so that I can speak more clearly and that sort of thing. And actually, oddly enough, I'm working with my coach, my business coach tonight. And one of the things I said I would like to work on is clearer communication. As I'm saying, please, if you come on here and you want to watch these, at least comment, please. Anyway, so I'm finding it interesting because I'm really working on that. So although there's success in this card, there's also it's getting you to look at where you're successful and what you're successful in, right? We were talking about that at the beginning, that you're going to be successful. And this is kind of reminding you that you already are, right? You're already getting everything that you need. So just little reminders. There's so much to it, right? So especially we're just talking about love. I think I'm motivating the love in my life to also get out and focus a bit more on himself as well. I think by me having my own business and doing all my products, it's getting him thinking, maybe he loves to cook. Maybe I could have a little side business too. It's really cool. So he's already successful in that, right? So there's lots of ways we can look at this. So let's go with work. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm setting the intention right now for the for the card. So this one's going to be work. Last one was for love. And that's just how I'm doing it. So you can do this daily for yourself if you want to. And Knight of Pentacles says trust. Okay. So one thing just to learn about the cards is that they're attached to, some of the cards are attached to the astrological signs. And so basically when the card comes up, it kind of tells us a story of, so this one is Knight of Pentacles is related to Virgo. And so if you know anything about Virgo, then this card is telling you that you're taking on those characteristics or traits in relation to work, because that's what we set the intention for. So there's the kings, the queens, the knights, and the wands. Okay. And underneath my playlists, I have a few videos related to this. I have the numerology, I have the elements, and I have the kings, the queens, knights, and pages. So if you want to watch that video too, it'll probably be helpful. So it's just kind of like a review, I guess. So pages, when you see a page with an element, there's no astrological sign. Hi, Trinia. Do you have your cards with you, or do you own cards? Have you ever done any type of tarot? That sort of thing. What are you interested in learning? Do you know anything about numerology, astrology, the elements, etc.? Love to know, love to hear. So, but if there's a knight, a king, or a queen attached to an element, okay, attached to pentacles, earth, water, okay, there's also swords, which is air, and then we also have fire, which can be called wands, okay? And so I was saying that water is about emotions. We were talking about kind of like the energy of love, then pentacles being like money. So we're seeing money again. So we want to pay attention to the signs when we have multiple cards and we keep seeing the money cards and things like that. And we're talking about it. It's coming up for a reason. So kings are masculine, queens are feminine. Okay, makes sense. Knights are called, they're advanced people. They're not like a king. They haven't mastered things yet. The queen is the master as well in a different way. And then the knight is just advanced. The page is like a younger person, a younger energy, okay? And when I say younger person, I mean energy. It doesn't literally mean that it has to be a young person. But this is telling us that the knight is telling us there's some advanced energy with work, which is great. So if we relate that to me, right, that I am advanced in this, absolutely. I've been doing this for like 14 years. This is where I began. And then when it comes to like, so in relation to work, and it's saying to trust, it might be like in relation to like trust that this workshop is what people need right now. Trust that doing more of these workshops is a good thing because it's going to help other people feel advanced. That sort of thing. I could relate it to, if I wanted to my products. I just started selling products and I've advanced like really quickly with that. So because I know that this is attached to Virgo, you wouldn't know that if you didn't study this. But because I know that it's attached to the energy of Virgo, Virgos tend to be all about perseverance. When they have a goal, they stick to it, okay? They don't give up. And hence why it looks like there's a bull there, right? Bulls can be really like, this is what I want, very goal oriented. So when it comes to, so you can see that there's a pentacle in the picture, right? So it could be like that you're on a mission to make money, right? It could be that this is just like a representation. Everything's like a symbol, right? This could be a representation of your goal with work, and that you sticking to it, the bull, you being the bull, or you could see yourself as the person controlling, like it could be like a leader. It could be you and being a leader right now, and that you're advancing in your leadership skills and maybe learning about this because maybe you want to teach somebody else about this as well, like that might be a friend or something. I don't know. But there's tons of different ways we can look at it. But the fact that the word says trust, right? And if we go to a color, I'd go towards green, which green represents money. Green also represents the heart, so it might be connecting that you're advancing in your work with the heart more, like you're really starting to love your work. You're really starting to like realize that you want to love your work more than you are. So you're going to either start making changes or whatever it is. You've decided that you want to love your job. Okay. So Virgo, we know just as a trait is like that perseverance, that goal oriented. And I could relate it to even my yoga. I'm doing 30 days of yoga for free here. So under my playlist yoga, you can watch those. You can hop in with me. And now I'm planning on running for the next 15 days, which I consider that a part of my work because I'm promoting health. So I have to make sure I'm staying healthy, but it's going to strengthen me in my yoga practice as well. I'm going to be doing a retreat on September 4th and 5th. I just booked it at Maven Hill Farms. It's such a beautiful place, and the lady that owns it is amazing. She's been through so much, and she's just such a beautiful person. So that's from 11 to 4. It's $250. Your food is included, which is amazing. So, and that's on a Saturday and Sunday. So if you want to join that, you can absolutely, you could put a $50 deposit down, and just to sign up, and it just has to be paid, I'm going to say by like August something, okay? And then I'm leaning towards maximizing that at like 20 people so that we're not, it's not crazy, but there's going to be yoga in that. There's going to be some creative writing. Hello, Maxie. There's going to be like other stuff. So anyway, I'm not going to spend time talking about that, but it's, there's going to be sound healing and Reiki and all this stuff, and I can't wait because I love doing stuff like that. I think it's great for other people to get together. Can I ask you, please? Yeah, absolutely. Do you have your own deck, and what would you like to know? So the Hierophant, Angel of Blessings, okay? Now this is going to be more related to relationships. Feels like partnerships, just like it could be work relationships, but just relationships in general. So like not love-based. What's coming in career for me, please? Any new job? Okay, so what I would suggest is relate that. See how you can relate that to this card that we were just discussing, to Virgo energy, to the Knight, to Pentacles, to the Bull, to the goal setting, to the word trust, to the man in there, to the colors, maybe to the color orange. See what you can get for that, okay? That's the goal here, is to be able to learn. Not for me to do a reading for you guys. No. Excuse me. The Hierophant, Angel of Blessings. Okay, related to relationships. So let's see what you guys can get from this card based on everything I said already. And it says Angel of Blessings, if I didn't already say that. My light is kind of... So just see what you guys get. Looks like there's some like angels here. Looking at this person. They have a book and a light in their hand. There's some keys that are crossed over. So going back into symbolism, does this mean anything? Especially in relation to relationships. You want to do this for me? You guys can go right ahead. Let's see what you guys come up with. Oh, that was a big piece of grass. It doesn't taste like grass, thankfully. But the texture is. Don't recommend eating plain herbs, well, swallowing herbs. Okay. What do you guys get? What do you get from the card? You see anything? So if nobody says anything, the Hierophant typically is an indication that, like, if you could even just like looking, like you can see that these two people are like, it looks like they're worshiping somebody. It looks like they're learning from that person. I don't know if they're praying. I don't know if it's their children. I don't know. But the fact that we're relating this to relationships, right? I would assume that it means that there's learning from someone else. The Hierophant tells us that it's time to start learning from someone else what you can't learn yourself, right? So if that's like, if you need therapy because you're struggling with your relationships, then you would have to go to a therapist. If you want to learn tarot, then you have to go to someone that specializes in tarot to teach you, right? So that's what these people are doing. So that's what's coming up in relationships right now for everybody, is that they're realizing that they need, if they want to learn, that they have to learn from someone who knows more than they do, because that's we can only learn so much on our own, right? As I was just saying, like I have a coaching appointment tonight, and I'm going to kind of work through some of that communication stuff that's coming up for me a lot, because for some reason I feel like yeah, it's coming up because there's energy in my throat probably that needs to be cleared. So if we look at a color here, there aren't any numbers on the card, but if we look at a color, we might see red, right? I see red. And knowing that red is attached to maybe love, if you see red as love, like color of a heart, I typically think of red. Getting outside of the, not even knowing the chakras, maybe we could just see it as like, yeah, as passion, that sort of thing. So that looks like the red is on the person teaching, so they're passionate. So they're getting these people to get also passionate and excited, as I'm doing right now. So this is a perfect example of just in the now, right? So we're not pulling out cards for the future. We're not pulling out cards from the past. This is just how we can do something really simple. So there you guys go. I would suggest watch the other 3 videos under my playlist related to numerology, which you already learned, the kings, the queens, the knights, and the pages. I already discussed the energy there. We did not go through the astrological signs because that would be an entire workshop. But again, those extra videos will be helpful for you, and reach out to me if you would like to learn one-on-one, or if you would like me to host a workshop that in a group setting. I absolutely will. I feel called to teaching for about like $50 or something per workshop, and I will tailor that for specifically for where people are. Okay, so if you've never done it, you want beginner level, if you want to learn spreads, whatever you want to do, I'll hook you up with that. Okay, guys? So I hope you guys appreciated me doing this. Again, if you like free stuff, join my new moon healing, 6 p.m. on April 11th. And of course, watch all your astrological sign readings. I just completed them for April, as well the general reading. And I also did a reading for the energy of the new moon as well, and what to expect. That one I did on my Instagram yesterday, so you'd have to go onto my Instagram to see that. Cool. I'm doing a level 2 Reiki on, it's $95. That's on the 24th and 25th of April. So if you didn't do your level 1, then you can't do the level 2, of course. But April 11th, I'm doing a workshop for Reiki. So if you're interested in learning about the colors and anything to do with Reiki, join that one. So yeah, just reach out to me if you're curious about any of these things. But on April 12th, the level 1 digital program will be available. So you're not going to be able to get certified, so you won't be able to do the level 2, but you'll be able to learn everything that you learn in a 1. And just because you probably would benefit from receiving the attunement that way too, because you receive an attunement through the digital copy, which is amazing, and there's tons of benefits. You're welcome, Annie. So you guys have an awesome day, and take care. Bye.